Why are the Spanish teams dominating football? What do you attribute that to?
Well, their way of thinking about the game. I use the word thinking because common people or people that don't understand football, they play football, they think it. It's very different. They don't build or create individual, they create teams. And so it doesn't matter who plays in it. They have a philosophy, the way of seeing the game. They usually go for the guy that will understand space right from the start, understand where to pass the ball, instead of going sometime for the guy that might be 190, you know, or will be faster at an early age. That's their way of saying it. That's their philosophy. They usually start with a group, and they start to finish with that, and they try to finish with that group also. I came across a team that won the Olympic Games against our team, but that team also won the under-21, won the under-19. You know, they try to keep guys together. You know, the best, when they train with the best also, it's always better with a good philosophy.
What is the training like though, Thierry? So we play in England. The training's been good. We've had some good managers.
Understand me well. I think it does. I think at a certain level, if you want to reach a certain level, you got to think the game. And you played with Spanish players. We all played with Spanish players. They think 1 to 2 to 3 steps ahead. You know, they don't just receive the ball and then start to think.
Yeah, but as a coach, how do we get that to England?
Well, simple. Look, they were not successful in my time and early doors when I was growing up with the national team. They were always, at one point, they switched it from being very physical to a team that could play good football, but couldn't win, couldn't get over the line. I'm not talking at a club level, obviously. And then suddenly now, it seems like it's very difficult to stop them.
But do you think it helps that they've got the likes of, sorry, Kate, the Foden, the Cole Palmers, the Bellingham? I think that's a different era to maybe 20 years ago.
Those guys manage, in Spain, they managed to give you a team, not one player, or another player 2 years after, or another player 3 years after. They give you a team that's going to be successful. And by the way, we always talk about Real Madrid having good players, and Spanish players, by the way, not only stars or Barcelona. Don't forget about Bilbao. Don't forget about Sociedad. Don't forget about teams that you would not think of and how they work. They work so well. Not only they create and they build players that are going to think about the game, but coaches also that are going to think about the game.
Obviously, you're talking about almost like the development stage for players and coaches. When you go back to actually the most European trophies and you think of Real Madrid and Barcelona, Valencia won a UEFA Cup probably over 20 years ago, but it's namely those two clubs. I think what helps those two is I think most players in world football see those two clubs as a final destination. I think even when you look at someone like Haaland, for instance, he's probably arguably at the best team in Europe, he's scoring all kinds of goals, but he would still be linked with Real Madrid. Mbappe's now joined Real Madrid. He wouldn't be linked with Man City. Do you understand what I mean? It's Barcelona and Real Madrid for players all over the world is almost, that's the ultimate when you get there. You know, when you get there, you leave when they no longer want you. And very rarely would you say, I think a player from Real Madrid or Barcelona say, I want to leave this club and go somewhere else.
But what's impressive also is they do it, and rightly so. And they also, so you get attracted, but they do it also with local players. Like Barcelona at one point, I don't remember when it was, maybe 2015 or whatever, had a starting 11 from players only from the academy. Tell me how many teams dominated world football with players from the academy? 8 to 7 to 11, 12, or whatever it was at that point. But a starting 11 from the academy. That's not only you're going to get players, and rightly so, it's Barcelona, it's Real Madrid, but the guys from the academy also are there. So the work also is being done.